What's up with it, YouTube? This TK with Cuts by Kelly. In this video, we're just going to do a mohawk with a design, a freestyle design basically, as well as putting a star in the back of his head. In the future, I'm going to make another video just to break down the star design and how I came about to accomplish it. At first, I was uncomfortable with doing it, trying to get things symmetrical, and it was just hard, but I got some little tips that hopefully could help you out so you can do it on your children or on your clients. Hey, make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, please. If you want to, leave a comment on content that you want to see, if I'm not explaining things good enough, or if you just have any more questions, you can leave that in the comments. Please subscribe. And I appreciate all the new subscribers as well as my old school subscribers. I'm just so appreciative of all you who have subscribed. If you haven't did so, now is the time. So let's get into the video. First thing first, we're going to comb out his hair, and you can see that his hair hasn't been combed in a while, so I'm just enjoying all the faces that he's making. But after that, we're going to set our ball line. Also, we're going to set our all the way open line as well as our top line for the fade. So we're just setting up the fade. Now I knocked his hair down with a number 2 guard, and just to get it all around even to the height that we want. Now that I got the other side set for the fade, I'm going to come to this side and set my ball line. Then I'm just going to go into my design, because I knew I wanted to do something in the back, so I didn't want to cut that hair off. I wanted to make my design a rough draft of it first, and then I can fade around it. But you seen that I'm going to have a star back here. And I'll make a video just to explain how you can make a star and get things symmetrical. And yeah, I have a video of that. So now we're going into our fade. On this side, since we got our star prepped up, this side we're just going to do our fade. And so I'm going close with no guard. Then I'm going to go quarter, 3/4. And then we have our open line already set. As always, if you're having trouble with understanding what I mean by closed, quarter, 3/4 open, I'll leave the link to a video where I break that down for you so you can have a better understanding of what I'm talking about and be able to follow along with this training. Now the next thing we're going to do after we go over that part, we put on our 0 guard. And then we're going to address that line that we see from the middle part, and we're going to go close, then we're going to go quarter, 3/4 and open. So right now I'm attacking it with close. I'm not going to do the front of that fade right now because I'm going to start the design on the side, and I wanted some of those areas a little dark. So instead of fading that area out, you can see I just started with my design. Now, as I explained in some of my other videos, designs they're fairly easy, especially freestyle, because it's just what you want to put in there or what you see in your head. You just try to put it on your clients. Now, I'm also going to go a little more in detail with some of my designs as well, just to help anyone out who interested in doing designs. But right now we're about to fade the other side of his head. So we already got the bottom prepped, and we already went in the back and set up our stars, so I know exactly where I'm gonna be fading at on this side now that I got my design all laid out. So we got our ball line already. Here is all the way open with no guard, and then we're setting our top line right here at the top with the 1 guard or the 1/8, and it's all the way open. Right now I'm using a corner of my clipper at that top to set that line so it don't be that harsh. It could be a soft line and it'll be easier to fade into. Now the fade, I can't stress it enough, it's the same thing over and over. Once we set our guidelines, we're going to do those same steps, and we're going to go close, quarter, 3/4, then open. Anytime you're running into a jam, you want to use the corner of your clipper. Now when you're setting up these doing your fading steps, it would be best that you use the corner for each step, like I'm doing right now. It may look like I'm using my whole clipper, but I'm actually just using one side of it. And so the reason of doing that, you won't take as much hair off. So it's important that you adopt that technique while you're working on your clients and on your kids, just so you don't take off too much hair. You just take off exactly what you need and you could continue to move on. Now that we got the bottom part, here we're going from the middle to the top with the 1/16 or your 0 guard. So right now I have my 1/16 guard on and I'm going close, then I'm gonna work quarter, 3/4, then open. So we're at the top of this fade now, and we want to get that fade blended into the top. So now we need to soften up this top, and we can do that with the 1 guard with the grain. That's what I'm about to do right here. I have my 1 guard and I'm going with the grain. Remember, I went the number 2 guard all around the head at the beginning. So I'm using that number 1 guard to blend into that number 2. Or the number 2 would be a 1/4. So I'm using a 1/8 guard to blend into that 1/4, just to make it a little more clear, because I know if you're using a wall clipper, those numbers are different, but it still should be the same if they're doing 1/16 or 1/32 or 1/4. If you see those numbers, that should be the same as Andy. So right now I'm using the 1/8 and I'm blending into the 1/4. Now we got our spot check. This part is really important, especially when you're trying to perfect your fades. Because just looking at that fade right there, it looks okay. But in order to make them look better, we need to go back over it just to catch any spot that we may have missed during our first pass through. So now I'm going over each spot. Whatever I see, I want to clean it up. I want to get out all those spots to make the fade pop even more. One thing I have to stress is patience, because I know how I was and how I am now still. At moments I'm like, man, why can't my fade look like this? Why can't my haircut look like this? And so on and so forth. But it just takes patience and just practice. Your eyes will develop, and you'll understand your tools more, and you'll be able to accomplish better and better fades. So just be patient. When I first started going to barber school, I used to watch some of these guys. I'm like, man, their fades be coming out real good, and I just can't seem to get it. But now I feel like I'm at that level, and so it's just patience. As I committed to it and start focusing on it more, I was able to develop a system and also get a little more confident no matter what texture hair I was cutting, because it's the same system. So the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be able to get, and then you'll be comfortable in the shop, you'll be comfortable cutting your kids, whoever it is, they'll be having nice haircuts. So just be patient. I hope you notice how I'm using the corner of my blade and how I have my clipper tilted, and that's so I can take the least amount of hair off. I have more control. I'm just taking a little bit at a time without overdoing it. So this is a good technique, especially when you're trying to blend into dark hair. You can tilt your clipper to the side and go into the hair and just take off exactly what you need. So you see it's coming along real good. We're getting out each of those spots, all the spots that we see. We're trying to pay attention to the details of this fade and make sure that we have the spots out of the hair. So also in this haircut, this time I did the design. I put a dye in his hair. He wanted his hair another color. So I have all that footage on here as well. But I'm not going to have that too much in detail, because actually that's new to me. I'm learning more about coloring hair. So, but I'll show y'all. I'll let y'all see what I did and all that. But right now we're going to continue to focus on the fade as well as the design. So now that I got both sides pretty much faded, I'm going to work on design even more to make it pop. Like I always tell y'all, especially when you're doing your designs with your lining clippers or your trimmers, you just need to go over it multiple times so it can stand out even more. And these clippers that I'm using right now are my favorite for designs. It's the Andis Slimline Pro LIs, because the versatility and because the blade of the clipper is not that big, so it's just the perfect size for me. And then they're super sharp, so I really like these when it comes down to designing hair. So now we need to fade this little back part right here. We got everything else faded. We're just trying to get this blended out into this design. So I'm going over the same steps that I usually do and just trying to lighten up this hair and not have that blunt end like we was having previously. So I'm just gonna go through here and fade it out. So here we go. I am applying the lift to his head. I'm trying to lighten his hair, and so I used a 30 volume developer as well as a lightener, and just gonna sit that on the head for however long they told me to. I think it was like 30 minutes, and then get it lighter. Now, it didn't get as light as I wanted it to, because my son wanted the blue to be even more vibrant, but I really didn't want to put anything strong on his head because I didn't want none of his hair to fall out and all that type of junk. So I'm like, look, this is what we're gonna do right here, and this is what we're gonna do right here. So anyway, lightened his hair, and now I'm putting the color in, and really I thought it came out pretty cool. I'm gonna put a picture at the end of it so you can see, but it was kind of hard to catch it on camera. When he goes out in the sun you can see the blue, but if he's inside it looks black. But it still was just hard to catch it on camera when I took the pictures of it. So here is the finish. Tell me what you think, leave a comment. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all you who have subscribed. I hope you appreciate the content that I'm putting out. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Here is my son's hair. We faded it. We also put a design on one side with the star in the back, and we dyed his hair blue. But like I said, even when you look at it right now, You can see the little blue tints, but it's not that drastic. But as he stands in the sunlight, you can see it even more. But with that, this is TK with Cuts by Kelly, and I appreciate you.